So
This
here we
meeting
are.
is being recorded.
Yeah, definitely. So how you doing?
I am doing pretty great, man. Oh my god, he has the sick. Don't careful, don't snap your fingers now.
I
Don't
know, right?
snap your fingers, about to disappear. I know for sure if we were in that universe, I'd probably be dusted. I most likely be dusted. I would rather
Well,
have instead of having to deal with 5 years of not understanding what to do and where to go. But then it'd be kind of cool because there would be no law, no
there
borders.
would be no law early on
Yeah,
because
no.
it looks like they had some I guess reformation like within the gap within the 5 years. Um, but for those of you who don't
Context.
know, well, I don't know. I don't think I'd be snapped. I'm built different, so
Oh
you
dang! Yeah,
know.
well, you're the
So
one snapping.
yeah, honestly,
Ladies and gentlemen,
no.
he has the Infinity Gauntlet on his hand as he's sipping his little cup of water. So that's why I said don't
Honestly,
snap. For those who can't visually see us or
yeah,
at all,
definitely.
actually.
Well, you know what? I was thinking I meant to what you call it, talk to you about this before. But I guess we'll just talk about it right now. I was thinking about starting us a YouTube channel just so we can upload a video portion of the podcast
That
so
would
that
be cool. That would
there's
be
more context when we're talking about specific things, I guess, like for example, because I'm wearing my Avengers merch because
nice.
I visited Avengers Campus, so I'm wearing that right now.
That's preview.
But yeah, no, definitely. But to go to talk a little bit more about the blip or the snapping, it would suck being on either sides, being blipped or being, or staying, not being blipped.
Yeah.
Because think about it, if you're blipped, you lose 5 years. Sure, you come back the same age, but you're gone for 5 years. And if you're not blipped, you're stuck for 5 years, and then everybody comes back and they're the same age. So you age, but the people who were gone don't age.
Yeah.
And think about
At that point, I would just hope that the people I care about were blip too.
really, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at that point.
Also, think about how much how therapy would
Oh
skyrocket.
my god.
Everybody who would need it.
Every
Those who blipped would need it, and those who didn't blip would need it. Would need therapy without a doubt.
Yeah. See, I feel like the world would be too complex to like. I think within the first year it would be madness. Like it would kind of go back to like almost post-apocalyptic terms, just
Hmm.
because there would be some like we don't know exactly if good people stayed behind, if bad people stayed behind, if they took advantage, regardless. And living in that type of universe too, you would just assume too, like I forget their name from the Winter Soldier. They're not the peacemakers, not that.
Oh, the Flag Smashers.
Like they have the flag smashers.
Yeah.
There. I would totally be part of their gang.
You would what?
I would be part of that gang.
You know what? They had the right intentions. They just didn't go about it the right way.
Yeah, right. You're
But
absolutely. But to get into today's episode, what are we talking about today?
so I want to share with you and obviously everybody listening about Avengers Campus
Yeah,
because it was awesome.
exclusive right here at Our Real Addiction.
Yeah. This is the first scoop. Ignore all the hundreds of YouTube videos that were up before
Or your
us.
friends' stories, ignore.
We're here breaking the scoop on everything about.
Yeah, ins
But
and outs,
no,
the special effects, the tea.
yeah. To sum things up, obviously it was awesome. It was super. It was really cool. But to go into detail, obviously the land looks great. There's three different Avengers campuses. For those of you who don't know, there's obviously the California one. There's going to be one in Florida, and there's going to be one in, I believe, Shanghai Disney.
That's cool.
And we each different Avengers campus has a superhero exclusive to them. So it's pretty obvious which one ours is. Ours is Spider-Man. Shanghai is China, and I believe, or sorry, Shanghai um, is Iron Man,
Okay.
and I believe the Florida one is Captain America.
Ah, nice. Well, honestly, I'm
And
glad that California got Spider Man. I think everybody loves Spider Man.
yeah, it's not so if you for those of you who have been, but even if you've seen our Spider-Man before, um at least in California Adventure, it's not the actual Tom Holland suit.
Yeah.
It's similar to it, and it has similar designs, but it's not the actual same symbol. So the spider symbol is actually different. Obviously,
Okay.
I believe that's due to, you know, legal issues and all that, because at some point they were using the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. That's what
Really?
it
Wait,
started. Yeah.
when you visited or before?
Before you had
Oh,
Avengers Campus, they I know they were using the Amazing Spider-Man 2 outfit. That's what they were dressed in,
that's
the
interesting.
Spider-Man.
Because I thought
Yeah.
the last time I think I saw Spider Man prior to COVID, um, was the Far From Home
Okay.
suit. So, or
Okay.
actually, maybe the Civil War suit, his first suit.
Okay.
But I'm not entirely sure either. I mean, that's just by memory.
Yeah, so they've had it. So if you look at if you saw any of the promotional photos and art, it was a tweak suit of the Civil War suit, and that's what it is right now. So it's a tweak suit of the Civil War suit. Um, but the one that you would take photos with people, what the ones people would take photos with when they would go visit that Spider-Man would be I believe the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, to get into a little bit more about Avengers Campus, there's only one. Technically, there's two rides. Oh well, no, there are two rides. There's obviously Mission Breakout, the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which it's obviously been there, so it kind of feels like it doesn't. It's not new, but now it's included within Avengers Campus. Um, there, and then there's also Web Slingers, which Web Slingers is a mixture of Rise of the Resistance and Toy Story Mania.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so
And just to like kind of locate this, this is Avengers Campus is where A Bug's Life used to be at,
yeah,
right?
so it's where Bugs Life Land was. Um, I remember when Bugs Life was leaving, the land was leaving. I was kind of sad, but
Yeah.
nobody really knows that. That's what we grew up on. Nobody really knows that. Kids are growing up on Avengers, so makes sense for them to have this. Um,
The times.
the ride is really cool. So basically, to sum up the ride, um, you go into it's called Web. So it's a place within the Stark Industries. They created Web, and Web stands for Worldwide Engineer Brigade. Yeah, Brigade. I'm trying to read it off my shirt because my shirt says it. But so that's a division within Stark Industries. Peter Parker is actually a scientist there. Harley is also a scientist. Harley for the is the kid from Iron Man 3. He's also what you call it there, an engineer there. And then you have two other interns. I forget their names, but they're two girls. One of them I know is Squirrel Girl, and the other one is another hero, which I don't remember what hero she is. But there's two lady heroes there apart who are also engineers. And you use these web slingers, which are really cool. You don't so I didn't know this until after the ride, but you can actually go buy the actual web slinger.
Oh, cool.
And well, there's two web slingers you can buy. You can buy one compatible to that's compatible with the game, with the ride, because the ride tracks your movement within it.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, it's really cool. It's some high tech shit.
That's really awesome. That's
So yeah, no, so you can buy Peter's web slingers, and you can actually buy power ups to them. So there's an Iron Man one, and then there's two other ones. There's a pink one, and then there's like a gray one that you can buy, and they give you power ups within the ride
nice.
because it's score based, and it's collective score based within the five people. There's like room for like five people on there. I only had three in my pod. Um, they split my group into three and two, and I was within the pod with three, and we scored a collectiveness of like I think like 500,000, and pods were getting up to like a million, like
Wow.
past a million. So you can score high. It's a high scoring game. Obviously, like I said, it's like Toy Story Mania. But it's a lot like Rise of the Resistance because you use the queue. So I don't know if you remember when Rise of the Resistance opened up.
I
Um,
actually never been. I've only um when I stopped going is when they opened that, and then I think
okay.
COVID happened. So
Shortly after, yeah, the ride was only open for like 3 months and or like 2 months actually, and
because
then
in
the
January,
pandemic hit.
yeah,
So
because my pass expired that December, I believe, or November. So I was already done making.
in 2019.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the last time I think I had the pass.
Okay. So yeah, when Rise of the Resistance came out, you can only get it by queue. So basically you would have to download the Disneyland app, and basically they had two queue times, and there was 7 a.m. and 12 p.m. They added the 12 p.m. later, but they're adding it. They've since then they've added it permanently because too many people aren't, obviously there's demand, to get on this ride. So the whole like demonstration of everything, because these are very interactive rides, Rise of Resistance and Web Slingers. So you're a part of, the ride. So like in Rise of Resistance, you're on a resistance, or yeah, you're on a resistance mission, and you get captured by the First Order. And that's why, and then the resistance breaks you out. So that's why when you get captured, you go into like you're an Imperial cruiser, and then the resistance comes, and then you're going throughout all of an Imperial Star Destroyer. So in Web Slingers, um, your Spider or Peter's showing you like stuff that's new, that's coming out with Web, and he has these spider bots, and they're able to multiply at any means. So like they can multiply. So if you had one spider bot, it can multiply and then to two. Well, there'd be two total, and then they can multiply again and have four. So pretty much they start multiplying at a rapid rate, and you have to go web them. And so it's tracking your movement, and you're going throughout, and there's like these super huge spider bots that you have to destroy as well. And obviously the more spiders bots you destroy and web up, the higher your score is,
Got it.
obviously. So that's the premise of the game, or the ride. Super short ride. It's only, well, I shouldn't say super short, but it takes total like
I want to say 5 minutes.
7 minutes, I think, is the total how long it should take you from entering the room to finishing up the ride.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, which
And
is a third of what Rise of the Resistance is, because Rise of the Resistance takes up about 22 minutes.
oh wow.
So yeah, yeah. So you can see where obviously that's why you need these cues, because they're not like your average ride where you have to, you can go in and just walk in and like, immediately write it. You
Yeah.
know, obviously Guardians of the Galaxy, that's more interactive. You are a part of the storyline. But if you go on like the Incredicoaster, or you go on like Space Mountain or Pirates of the Caribbean, those are just rides you're kind of going and seeing what's in the ride. These rides you're actually a part of. So it was definitely cool in terms of food. There's a lot of random stuff. There's the main one is called Pim's Test Kitchen.
Know
Um,
that. I heard of that, and then I saw pictures of that, and then it looked really fucking cool.
it was really cool. The food, okay, I'm not gonna lie, the food is okay. Obviously, I ate there because this is the first time I was in Avengers Campus, so I wanted to um I
Try
wanted
that.
to try it. So I got this chicken sandwich, and the chicken sandwich, the patty itself is super huge, but the bun is really really small. You know,
Ah,
so that
yeah.
was that was cool. And then they sell these really large pretzels. You can get shawarma there. They also have these like panini or pimini like sandwiches. They have I got a mimosa in a beaker,
I was
which
gonna
is
say
cool. I don't know if I sent it to you or if you saw it, because I know it was on my Instagram story that
I
I had
saw
seen.
it, and it looked so cool because it looked like particles and like beaker particles and stuff, and it was
Yeah,
really
so that's actually a different. Okay, yeah. So there's a different one that also comes in a beaker that is sold at Pim's testing lab, and that's basically the cantina of Galaxy's Edge,
oh
so
cool.
or of Avengers Campus. So I should say. So really, that's the bar. and you can
Nice.
go and you can get more exclusive drinks there.
Mm,
And so there's another beer style that comes with boba in it. Um, there's so many characters walking around. It's really awesome. Um, Spider-Man is there the moment you walk in. There's only one entrance as of right now.
yeah,
Um, I'm assuming that's going to change at a later date after everything kind of slows down.
yeah.
Uh, or everything kind of calms down for that what you call it for that land. But yeah, there's only one entrance. You enter, you immediately see an Avengers Campus logo, and if right where that logo is, if you look on the floor, there's an Iron Man arc reactor.
Nice.
I believe it lights up. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't see Avengers Campus fully lit up at night. We ended up leaving before then. So I want to return because I want to see it at night. Um, you know, but the Avengers Campus is super awesome. There's a bunch of heroes just there for photo ops. There's like an actual like Avengers headquarters where Black Widow will just stand out there, Thor will just stand, like all the characters will just stand out there, and then Captain America, there was a Captain America just walking around, and then he posted up on like this bench where he was able to take photos. And he was just standing there, like ready for poses.
Nice.
Loki was just standing out there. Doctor Strange actually has his own like entrance where he comes out of. So these like two like sanctum doors open, and he's fighting Dormammu, and
Uh-huh.
he comes out of there, and then he's just there, obviously, kind of barricaded off because of COVID, you know.
Yeah.
But Avengers Campus is super fun. Um,
It sounds like a really fun time.
it is awesome. Do not get me wrong. It is awesome. It is awesome. But I'm gonna admit I'm going to give the edge to Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
Like
Got it.
like I because I was don't get me wrong. I was
Bro.
super excited. I don't want to sound like I'm talking down on um on Avengers Campus, because Avengers Campus is cool. I just haven't been able to fully experience it
Mhm.
as I would have liked to. So obviously, I think after two more times of being there, I'm probably gonna like it more than I like Galaxy's Edge. But Galaxy's Edge, the magic that I felt going to Galaxy's Edge for the first time was absolutely insane
Mhm.
compared to I do not get me wrong, I was overly hyped for Avengers Campus, and the merch there is insane of what they have. I was honestly expecting them to have more, and I was a little disappointed because I thought they were gonna have more character stuff. Obviously, they're pushing Spider-Man, and they're pushing just like Avengers gear. So like, there's this Captain America Spirit jersey that I really really want. I expected that to be in the land. It wasn't.
Uh-huh.
I guess they don't have it at all. Um, within California Adventure. That's okay. I'll just have to order it online. But again, I got this really cool sweater, has the Avengers logo. I got a patch for it as well
Do they
that says,
come in different colors, or is it just black?
this is just the black one. Oh, another thing, the only reason I got this is because, well, one, I did want it, but I felt like I needed it to have the matching set
Oh, the white.
with
The
yeah, with the team suit.
yeah.
So that's why I was like, because it was like $70 for it before my discount, and I was
Okay.
just like, okay, I want it. I was like, okay, I don't need it, but I want it. I don't know when I'm gonna be back. Well, I know I'm going back for my birthday, um, but I don't know, if
And
I'm
to
gonna be there
those
before.
for
You know.
the people listening, how much were tickets? And was it a park hopper ticket, or is it just for that? Is it like just events?
Okay, yeah. So, they're only not that they're only selling, but obviously, you don't need a separate ticket to get into Avengers Campus.
Okay.
But from what I heard, the standby wait time was like 2 to 3 hours.
Whew.
Opening day, I know it reached to the pier.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm talking near Incredicoaster. That's where it reached. That was the standby line. That's where the standby line reached. Yeah, it
Dang.
was insane. When I they
Yeah, listen, go your own thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, so they also, obviously, there's another way to get in there faster, and that's obviously if you successfully get into a queue
Yeah.
reservation. So back to the queue. So like at 7 a.m., I made the mistake of going to Disneyland first as opposed to California Adventure. Um, So I struck out at 7 a.m. to get Rise of the Resistance. So we struck out. Well, me and my friends, we struck out at 7 a.m. to get it, and then at the noon we successfully got Web Slingers. But apparently, Web Slingers was going in like a second. All the time slots. So I was a little nervous on being with the possibility of successfully getting Web Slingers, a slot in Web Slingers. But we ended up getting it. My buddy Jay successfully got the reservation for all five of us. So
Really
that
good.
was,
Really
yeah. But
insane. That's insane that I remember the park clearly, and that's a long wait. I would not. I don't think I would wait that long for
yeah.
that. If anything, I'll probably be visiting Avengers Campus until next year. Just so I know that things have like died down. It's not gonna go anywhere, thankfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. And then like, I'm just kind of disappointed that passes are not a thing. So I'm just gonna
Well,
probably wait until they come back with that, maybe, hopefully in the future.
passes will be back by, they're saying, by winter.
Oh, then
Like
that's
by the fourth quarter of the year, the passes are going to be reintroduced. The new Disneyland membership. That's what Disneyland. That's the announcement Disney made.
yeah.
Um, could be sooner, could be later. I'm assuming they already know how it's going to work. I think it's just based on how much money they want to make before they bring back passes. Because obviously, that's what it's about.
They've
You
been
know.
making enough, even because they raised prices 3 times. So I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
what their issue is with that. I mean, they just gotta let us know, and people are gonna buy it regardless. Come on.
No, yeah, I was kind of convinced I'd be waiting because I'm going to Tokyo Disney next year.
Uh huh.
Um, and I was just kind of convinced that I was gonna wait for my pass to get it after I go to Tokyo Disney. But honestly, when they announce it, I'm probably gonna be buying it.
Do you think, or actually no, huh? They don't do that. I was gonna say, do you think they will be probably like releasing a multi-park pass, like where you can visit these passes? Because Universal kind of has that. I think
Yeah.
you can get their Hollywood one. You can also visit the one in Florida too.
So from what I thought if you or is it Six Flags?
Oh yeah, Six Flags too. Yeah, because you
Six
can.
Flags lets you go to any if you have a California pass or if you have a pass in California, it lets you go to any Six Flags. But I didn't know that about Universal. Um, I know Disneyland had a two park pass or a two land pass, I guess you should say. They had a pass that included both Disneyland and Disney World.
Yeah,
Obviously, since the end of passes here in California, that doesn't exist. That pass no longer exists. Or I'm sure they still have it. You just can't come to the California park. Um, but overall, Avengers Campus is super fun. It's super cool. A lot of merch. I did expect more. Not gonna lie. Definitely check it out. Um, because it's really really cool.
I,
They said this was going to be uh the most, I don't want to say inclusive land. I think it was most inclusive land in terms of characters. So that there was always going to be, I think, at least two characters roaming around or available to see while you're within the land.
hmm,
So that's pretty cool because you just have a bunch of characters, a bunch of
right.
Avengers related characters roaming around the land. But yeah,
Any final thoughts or any recommendations to check out first before, besides like the rides and stuff?
if you can get in to the land before you're able to ride web slingers, I would suggest checking out the store, especially if you're trying to get a high score in the ride on the ride.
Okay.
Check out the store. Pick up some web slingers. To price the web slingers, so it's for one arm, it's going to be $50 if you want an upgrade attachment.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that's for so it's 25 for It's 25 for just the actual just Spider-Man web slinger, so the basic one, no upgrades. But if you want an attachment to it, or I believe it's 30. It's 30 and then 25 for an attachment. So that roughs out to like $55. After taxes, probably gonna be 60. So you're looking at 120 to get both arms to have attachments while you're on the ride of web slingers.
Yeah.
Um Also probably order ahead of time, get a time slot that you're, in the morning, get a time slot because Pim's test kitchen and at least the test kitchen was really hard to get a reservation in.
Oh dang. And
Yeah.
all of that is through the app, correct?
Yeah, all this is through the app. So also the shawarma, the chicken shawarma was out when by the time we got into the land. All they had left was the cauliflower shawarma option.
Ah, well, that's still good. It's a vegetarian
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, no, it was really good. I had a bite of it, and it was really good. But I know, like me, like I would want to try the chicken shawarma. Um, so
Well,
definitely worth
yeah,
checking out. If you make your way up here, Miguel, let me know, and we'll go check out Avengers Campus.
yeah, we will.
Oh.
I don't know about that 3 hour wait line, so maybe in a while. but,
Okay,
but
so I'm assuming it's going to die down uh around the same time Galaxy's Edge did, because by August
yeah,
they let it was whoever, if you can get into the land of Galaxy's Edge, they basically they took away the reservations. Mind you, you don't need reservations right now for
okay,
Avengers Campus. There's just that stupid long line.
right. Makes
So obviously, once we're COVID restrictions lighten up, they're going to be allowing people more in to the land. Wait times are going to inflate. Obviously, they're going to go up. Um, the only good thing, if you're going to visit Disneyland right now, or it's kind of a good time to visit it right now because everything else seems like it's just dumb low wait times.
okay. Oh, right, because
Yeah,
everything else is getting
everybody's trying to get into Avengers Campus
makes sense. Yeah,
because I
But
felt like I was kind of just walking on rides.
nice.
Yeah, they were like 10, 15 minutes. I think the longest I waited was like 35 minutes for a ride.
I missed Incredicoaster.
Dude, that was one of the first rides I got on going into California. I missed it too.
I missed it so much.
When I went to Disney World, the only thing they had similar to the Incredicoaster was, I believe it's called the Rock and Roller Coaster, or the Rock and Roll Coaster. It's a lot more intense and faster than Incredicoaster, because like when you shoot off, they're playing Aerosmith the entire time, and obviously Aerosmith is a rock band. So
Yeah, what
you
song?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I
But
don't wanna miss a thing because if it's a don't want to miss a thing, that's dramatic. But I don't think.
no, it wasn't Don't Miss a Thing, because I know I knew I would have, what you call it, been able to I would have remembered that.
Yeah.
But so on the Rock and Roller Coaster, if you haven't been on it, when you basically obviously you strap in and you take off as like, I think at like close to like 70 miles an hour, probably
Um,
faster, and you go and you immediately go into a loop.
what?
Yeah, it's insane. There's like two or three loops on that ride. Uh, it's cool. When I went to Disney World, I had a blast doing that. Um, Going to that, but yeah, Avengers Campus is super super fantastic.
I think definitely.
I
Thank you
love the
so much for
MCU.
sharing that. I love that.
So this was kind of cool. Before we switch into really, I guess, the second topic, but
Yeah. Which
I didn't realize the day I got tickets for me and my buddies. When I bought the tickets, it wasn't announced, but that was the day Loki was premiering.
oh
It was that
cool.
night, so I thought that was kind of cool that we ended up going the night of Loki's premiere, because obviously we're gonna be talking about Loki later today, or later
Yeah.
in the episode. But that was really really cool to kind of go. He was out there, Loki was out there. I'm assuming because his TV show was coming out, but I had fun at Avengers Campus. Wish I would have stayed there longer, but I know I'll be back. So, check it out if you can.
We'll do.
They sell this really cool cup holder, the Nano Gauntlet cup holder. It comes with a free soda. So if you're able to get out to California, adventure, definitely check out Avengers Campus because it's new, it's cool, it's a really interactive land.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course, of
Absolutely.
course.
It's just getting me riled up, and hopefully, I'll be able to visit that place soon. But in the meantime, we're moving on to our second topic, which is Loki, actually.
No, 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 no. Loki's the last topic because there's a lot
Okay.
of spoilers.
Sorry, we didn't like introduce what we were talking about. We just kind of
Yeah, we did. We kind of it's kind of just we're just talking.
yeah, for sure.
But the Book of Boba Fett has
Mhm.
wrapped production.
Which is very cool. And
Yeah,
in a really short amount of time, when we finished, well, they were probably filming prior to the finale of Mandalorian, correct?
definitely because obviously they just announced it
They
when
hadn't, so yeah.
Mando ended. Um, but I think the biggest question is, what's going on with Mando season 3? It was announced in the Collider in the collider in the collider sorry what should I say, the collider post, the
Mhm.
require I guess report on it. um it's going to it's going to start filming, we'll start filming at the end of 2021 or early 2022. So it's going to be a while before it films. We're going to get the Book of Boba Fett, um obviously this December. It's going to serve as Mandalorian season 2.5.
Okay.
There's going to be several cameo characters, and obviously, you know, season 2.5. Obviously, Fennec's gonna be in there. Um, I'm assuming Mando's gonna be in there too. How do you not have him involved in some way,
Yeah.
shape, or form?
Right.
I expect him to be a sideline character. I know we talked about that when they announced it. I thought this was going to be season 3 of The Mandalorian. Like it was going to shift away from Mando for this time, for this season, and then give it back, the show back to him for season 4. But I'm assuming Bo Katan will be in this as well. Um, and and their posse,
Right.
But yeah, I'm super excited for Mando, or the Book of
Boba
Boba
Fett.
Fett.
I'm excited to see more if they're gonna be channeling in like what, because there's a lot of like comic books on him, right? I wonder if
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
most of the inspiration behind his series, or if it's gonna be more of like the novels, which I've heard there's more. That's the reason why even Boba Fett is recognized in the first place, is because of the novels that took place after.
Mhm.
Um, and then just seeing what the hell he's been up to all these years. So that's exciting. I'm excited for the guy who's going to be portraying him. Is it still going to be the same guy? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be Tamira Morrison.
Cool, cool,
I don't
cool,
know if I said his name right,
cool.
Tamira. But okay, so apparently the delay for Mando season 3 is likely because of Pascal's commitment to the Last of Us TV series,
Right. Yeah, he
which
did.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because that's starting production this year in July. So
Yes. And
next
we
month
were
that's gonna be.
excited about that. And speaking of Pascal, I don't know if it's released, but they just released an actors on actors with Pedro Pascal and Ewan McGregor. They did it
Yeah,
online.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the episode's already out, but it's something cool to check out, especially because these are both within the Star Wars realm and also really great actors from either part. So, just a little shout out to see that.
Did you? I saw. I did. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to. But did you see the clip where Ewan McGregor was talking about how he got a little intimidated when he saw the stormtroopers on set?
No,
So he got intimidated about the stormtroopers being on set because he said he had never been it, all the all what he had in his films are clones.
right,
So to have a stormtrooper who obviously are his enemies, he thought it was funny, but yeah, he was just like, I didn't have these in my film. We had clone troopers.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Oh
know.
my god, that's
And
interesting.
he also claimed to be a fan of the Mandalorian.
Well, that's even
And
better.
yeah, yeah, and he said he had no idea that would be he because he said I know in that clip he also said he felt like the Mandalorian kind of brought him back to Star Wars, and that kind of opened the door for him to return as Obi-Wan, which is cool. He was praising Pascal
That's great.
in the clip, yeah.
That's awesome
So
to have
it's really
a
cool,
vision from one of the OGs. That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, when he's a newcomer and all that jazz. But this is going to be super excited. I'm excited for The Last of Us. I wonder if that's going to wrap up production quickly too, but we'll see. Because lately, I think I don't know, maybe just because I haven't been paying attention to paparazzi or whatever or as much recently, I've been noticing that these production companies have been wrapping up filming pretty quickly. Because I know they just finished wrapping up Multiverse of Madness. I know it's different, but that was pretty quick too.
Yeah, it started in January,
It's sort of yeah, yeah, it
like
only
right
took,
after WandaVision ended, I think.
yeah. So like they're I think they're just going through these shows quickly, maybe because of COVID restrictions making it easier in some sort of way.
Might be.
But super excited for this for sure.
Yeah,
um
I feel like definitely for sure. I feel like a lot of like companies took advantage of shooting during the pandemic.
yeah,
There was nobody really to get in the way of it. Getting in the way because obviously, you think of like traffic and reserving places to shoot. Having to deal with all that. Like it takes a lot of stuff. It takes a lot of permits and a bunch of licensing to be able to shoot in places.
right,
So,
absolutely.
but yeah, moving on to the final topic.
Yes,
Um,
as we
Finally, the long hiatus of the MCU being gone for about 6 weeks is over.
wait,
It
what this
felt
six
like a
week?
long. Well, yeah, because that's when like Falcon and the Winter Soldier wrapped up like 6 weeks ago.
Oh my god, was it really a month?
Yeah, it was over a month.
Wow,
Yeah,
I felt like that just ended, or maybe I don't know, man. This year has been going by too quickly.
it
Maybe
is.
it's because of how busy everyone's been getting, or I don't know. But the
How
weeks have been
busy we're getting.
yeah, yeah. But the
The
weeks have been
world.
by. I mean, come on, we're already in June.
Yeah, the world's opening back up. That's what it feels. At least, you know.
In a sense, yeah, yeah, for sure.
But
But Loki, I'm really excited to talk about Loki. I think.
so am I.
Do you want to take a lead on this, or
Well, go
whichever?
ahead. You go ahead. Well, I'll
Okay.
bounce off of whatever you got.
All right, so basically, it's kind of just a little couple notes. The first episode is called Glorious Purpose. It's directed by Kate Herron and it's written by Michael Waldron. For those who haven't heard of them, or at least don't want to know a little bit more about their repertoire, Kate Herron has directed shows like Sex Education, 5 by 5, and this movie called Daybreak. Michael Waldron. From that, I haven't seen or heard much from 5 by 5 or Daybreak, but I have heard of Sex Education. I think that's on Netflix, I believe, right? And that's a good show from what I've
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
Um,
That's with Gillian Anderson.
oh, cool, 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 cool. Man, I didn't know
You know
that.
who that is?
Gillian Anderson. The name sounds familiar, but who is she?
Okay, that's Sully from
That's oh, there you go.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why. And then Michael Waldron is a producer like of shows like Rick and Morty and Community. He actually has writing credits for the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the sequel, and he actually has in production, sort of development, untitled Star Wars project with Kevin Feige. So that's fun. He's already so far really good at what he's doing because this first episode has had me really kind of hooked. It was really fun. It Just to recap, it takes place directly after Loki's escape with the Tesseract. It actually opens up with that scene from Endgame.
Yep.
Just directly shows him where he transported to. Which the first scene of this show, of that, the show being, exactly did he like appear,
It
and
was in
why
a it
there?
was overseas on Earth.
Yeah,
I don't remember where.
he just
Um
like in the middle of the desert, Mongolia.
Maybe. I think so. I think it was Mongolia, yeah.
Yeah. If
Um,
I'm saying that correctly, I may be screwing that up too.
yeah, honestly. But I know, yeah, it bounces. It picks up from there. Obviously, the first scene is kind of like these re-edited scenes of Endgame.
Yeah.
Him stealing it, him stealing the Tesseract. He straight off. I think he mentions it right off the bat. He knows there's two Tony Starks, or he mentions that in later in the episode. But
He's like, you can smell his cologne from a mile away or something
yeah,
like
you can smell the cologne of two Tony Starks from a mile away, I think is what he says, or something like that.
that.
But
Because he was accused of, so we get introduced to TVA, which is a time variance authority. We're basically like time cops.
that is exactly what they are.
And they have these people called like Minutemen that transport and kind of just reset time in
Yeah.
accordance. And basically, they start giving us exposition. Loki is transported into is well, he's handcuffed by these by TVA. He's
Yeah.
transported to their location where we get introduced to this kind of pretty cool office. I'm not gonna lie, the fact that it's all like the way it looks was pretty cool. Did you see that there was a scroll?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
That was interesting. That was a little preview, but then like he's only there for like a quick second because I had to pause it and return.
There was another cameo that are well, so we think another cameo. I don't know if you saw it. It's later in the episode.
Okay,
I'll bring it up kind of when we get there.
yeah,
Kind of stay on in course because we don't want the
right.
TVA showing up in our podcast and
He's
taking
getting
us.
registered in.
Yeah.
He is he thinks this whole thing is a joke. I mean, he's all like, "Do you even know who I am?" He's showing up with like, you know, this authority that he has, that Loki
Mm.
has, that mindset of 2012 Loki, right? And then he is processed uh through this scene. I thought he just keeps getting like thrown through levels of this establishment, and it's hilarious. He first gets thrown into a jumpsuit where he gets his clothes removed or vaporized after he said it's like Asgardian leather, like fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Rare as Guardian leather.
Yeah, Loki. I mean, Tom Hiddleston looks pretty buff, so that's pretty
Oh, he looked absolutely ripped in that scene.
ripped. I was like, whoa, you've been hiding that underneath the whole.
And
It's
then we get that scene right after where he drops into the sign this to confirm this is everything you've ever said in your entire life. And he's
yep,
like, what? And then another page prints and he's like, sign here now.
yeah.
And
It's
then he picks up on it really quick and he signs it. And I thought that was hilarious. And then he falls into the next the next what you call it, the next room you should say. And then he's like, oh, and then there's a guard there saying like walk through. And he's like, walk. He's like, are you an AI or are you a robot or something like that or cybernetic? He's like, well, how would I not know? Or how does somebody not know they're not a cybernetic or a cyborg? Yeah. And he's like, all right. He's like, thanks for confirming. He's like, unless I was one and I wouldn't know.
yeah.
So basically, there's like a metal detector in the episode, and you you're gonna be destroyed if you walk through it and you're a cyborg.
Yeah.
And Loki's kind of nervous about it. It was really funny because he's questioning himself. He's like, obviously this is a different Loki.
Yeah.
This is 2012 Loki. He's very unsure of a lot of things. This isn't. I think like for example, like we're expecting the Loki that just got killed in Infinity War to kind of. It's
We're getting
not. We're
yeah.
getting a Loki that feels the harsh love, the anger towards Odin, the anger towards Asgard, and the anger towards Thor.
Yeah.
This Loki that feels, entitled to a throne. That feels like he's being robbed of something. So this is a very different Loki. A lot happens though in the episode. There's so much more that happens. He goes into like this call or like this it's like take a number.
Mhm.
There's one other dude in there who I do think is kind of important, even though
Really,
he's killed. I don't know.
I feel like he was just probably placed back. I don't think they kill them.
So we don't. So we know. I okay.
Yeah.
I think it's low. I think that's Loki. That's another Loki.
Huh.
because he resembled Loki. He had long hair. He was shorter
Yeah,
than Loki, and he was stockier than Loki. But I think it's Loki.
yeah.
I
Because
think
there
it's a
has
different
to be a
Loki.
reason. They can't just include some random guy,
Yeah,
because there has to
because
be a reason
if
for it.
we're gonna have multiple Peter Parkers in the multiverse of madness, and they're gonna look different, then we can have different Lokis look each other. I'm convinced this is going okay. They said Loki's not gonna lead into Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness.
Yeah,
I don't buy that one bit after this episode.
yeah. I
I
think
don't buy it.
especially after everything that was like the exposition included, because during that scene after he takes the number, Loki immediately says like, "I shouldn't be here. Like, what's going on?" And then a voiceover comes up, and we get introduced to Miss Minutes, which is a time little clock, a little tiny clock that's super cute, and she's explaining what TVA is, how they came about, and she mentions the long ago before there were different multiverses battling to be like the number one until like what were they called again? The three ancestrals or whatever, something like
I don't remember, but I'm calling them the Time Wizards.
the Time Wizards. Let's go with
That's
that.
what I'm
That
calling the
sounds
three of
better.
them. Because I had conversations about this last night, and I
Yeah,
couldn't remember their name to save my life. So I was like, you know what?
the Time Wizard.
They are Time Wizards.
The Time Wizards. Three Time Wizards. This entire scene is taking place in animation, so it's actually really cool to see some old style animation. I really like that style. It reminds me of very like 60s, 50s, almost kind of like WandaVision
Yeah.
too. They did that. Um, and it was nice to see it. And it explained basically, it just gave exposition. It gave what the establishment was, why he was being charged. So basically, he's just getting registered before he goes up to court. Um,
Hmm.
and then right after that is where I think you need to help me out. Do
He's
we
gonna
get?
get sentenced.
She get? Yeah, he's gonna get
He's gonna
sentenced.
get sentenced, and they're gonna reset him. We don't. Okay.
We don't
When
know
I hear
what that
reset, I
means.
think he's gonna be killed. Okay. Again, you bring up a good point. There's no way we know that. And
Yeah,
then here comes to save the day, Lightning McQueen.
Lightning
No,
McQueen
ciao, Owen Wilson with his broken nose
and a mustache. I
and a
just
mustache comes in, saves Loki. I was okay. I was asked a question about this scene um, by a friend of mine, and she was asking me basically, well, how she's like, because she was trying to, she was engaging in a conversation basically like, oh, well, do you think these time wizards are evil? And I was like, I don't think they're necessarily evil. They're beings of the thing is, they're beings of the universe. You know, if they were so desperate to stay in power, and Loki was an actual threat to this timeline, this Loki would have been killed. You know,
right immediately.
because
I Yeah,
for sure, you know, because Owen Wilson comes in. His name's Mobius, and he comes. He's like, "Hey, I wanna take him, you know, and basically get him on our side." You find out for reasons why later.
mhm.
Um, and the judge is like, "I don't think this is a good idea. You know, he needs to be reset. He's a remnant." And he's like, "No, but we can get more out of him, and we can show him more. You know, basically to speed him up to be 2018 Loki." Um, but there's that's where I was like, yeah, there's no way, because I think these guys are trying to help Loki by helping themselves, because obviously they need Loki's help, and it's
Yeah,
later revealed. And you know so
and
obviously he goes into the interrogation room, and Mobius is showing him his life, and he's like, do you enjoy hurting people? And Loki's like, no. you know
then
and
they
we
show clips of
Yeah,
like,
they show a bunch of clips because 2012 Loki is very vulnerable. I think people forget that. As evil as he is, Loki is looking for attention in 2012 in this timeline, or in this Loki that we're watching in the TV show. He's looking for attention because he's never felt good enough, as equal to Thor. He's always said it. I remember a shadow. I remember being a shadow. I remember living in Thor's shadow. I remember it being Thor, 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 Thor. In the beginning of the first movie, Thor's about to become king,
yeah,
and what stops it? the by or the what are they called? The the villains, the ice monsters. I don't remember what they're called.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Point is, you know, they come and invade Asgard, and that stops Thor from being king. And one of the first shots is Loki kind of being like, "Well, I'm not." It's his brother Thor supposedly taking the throne of Asgard.
Yeah.
So obviously that's so there's resentment, and they go through that. They go through Loki never feeling good enough, and we see that. Sure enough, Loki somehow escapes, which I thought is absolutely fantastic scene. Like the scene is so good of him escaping and the realization that he comes to, because and he goes into like the I think the inventory room,
Hmm.
and he's looking for the Tesseract,
Oh my God. Yeah.
and he realizes that while they tell him the Tesseract has no power outside of his realm, outside of his timeline. Which and everybody and there was a lot of people upset on social media, because I remember seeing it on Twitter.
Yeah.
That saying that Nat's death, Gamora's death,
It
Tony's
made it
death.
seem super insignificant that they had these Infinity Stones in a drawer.
Yeah, which I thought was funny. I thought that was
It was funny
funny.
too, but I was like, I guess in a sense you can. You're like, wait a minute. But then that just makes that's the realization that Loki comes right after, and you can see it in his face. He's like, "What the hell?" Like these guys, because he wasn't taking TVA seriously. He was like, "You
Yeah.
guys are time cops. Like, what is that? I've been a king, or I've been god of mischief
Oh
for so
God,
long.
yeah.
Why have I never heard of you guys? Like why are you guys choosing now to intervene?" And then it wasn't, I think, because seeing the six like the stones there.
Yeah, because
This
he has like they have like three time stones there, a couple mines. Like there's a lot of like the only one that I think isn't there is the soul stone.
right,
That's the only one I think that isn't there. But look, I'm gonna say this. This is all I'm gonna say. This does not mean Tony. All their deaths were for nothing,
right,
because they say it multiple times in the episode. They're trying to protect the sacred timeline. There's one time. There's a reason why they're not brand. There's one timeline and everything's not branched out, and it's because the stones are staying in place. The whole reason Loki is in the TVA is because they're trying to correct the timeline. I don't think the timeline's messed up. At least I don't think he's the one doing it, and him leaving is doing it, because if I remember correctly in Endgame, they say that when the stone's taken out of its time, that's when the timeline's broken. At least the ancient one explains it that way.
yeah.
So technically, when Loki does leave that time, the TVA would be the one messing up the timeline by taking Loki out of it. As long as he's in 2012, the timeline should be okay, because the stone is still in the correct time it's supposed to be in.
Hmm.
They also do explain it that the events of Endgame
Yeah.
aren't aren't going against the sacred timeline.
Yeah, because they did what they had to do.
Yeah, that was meant to happen, which I thought that was interesting,
Yeah.
to hear, because Loki has some anger towards the Avengers traveling through time, but that's how he escapes, but then gets recaptured. But within him running around the entire TVA, you see what looks like Peggy Carter in the background. Did you see that?
I did. I did, yeah. And I didn't, I just didn't. At first, I was like, what is her reason for being here?
Yeah.
That was my first question. But I just kind of
Well,
ignored
she
it.
wasn't she wasn't handcuffed in any way or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to find out for
Or did her and Steve violate the timeline by Stu going back?
that. That's a good theory.
Hmm.
That is a good theory. Yeah,
Again,
that's a good theory. Well, because
again,
back in time.
no. If they're still going to be alive, if Loki wasn't immediately killed off for taking the space stone, there, he's not a threat to the timeline. That's how I just see it. He's not a threat. They would have immediately got rid of him if he was a legitimate threat
Right.
to the timeline.
And then we basically we get introduced to the villain of this little story.
When yeah, kind of. Before we forget the music and the scoring to this episode,
Oh, it's very good.
amazing. When Loki's looking over the TVA, and there's just like that, instrumental, like electronic instrumental, just like kind of playing over it. It was so. I just thought it was so good.
It fits the narrative really well.
Yeah, yeah,
It gives it so much
yeah.
character.
It does.
Really
It
added.
does. I'm probably now. I'm probably gonna watch it after we get done recording.
I was watching it prior to us recording, just so I remember it correctly. So I only got up to the part where TVA or Miss Minutes start to begin the whole Nexus thing. That's as far as I got up to,
Oh,
and then
okay.
I have to finish watching it. But I did watch it, and it was a fun time. Um,
When well, point is back to they go up to like I think it's like the 1800s. They jump to the 1800s, and uh there's reports of killing. They're trying to figure it out who it is. They say it's the same person, so this person's been killing a lot. Then this kid walks in. She has something that is not from her time, without a doubt. And then they ask who did it, and she points to a picture of the devil. I thought Mephisto was going to be trending. I thought Mephisto was going to be trending. I'm surprised he wasn't.
I think after what happened with WandaVision, I think people are.
Yeah. And you know what? I honestly feel like that was a troll to us. Because Mephisto is obviously the devil of the Marvel. So for them
You
to
got to think
point,
about Loki's like. That's why people were saying too, or theorizing that whoever is the villain is Loki because his horns and everything.
yeah. Well, obviously it's later revealed who it is.
Yeah,
Um so Loki's so while this is going on, Loki's freaking traveling throughout the TVA. He's running around. It's a damn good time. He ends up seeing himself like the rest of his life.
yes,
So he sees his mother getting killed. He sees, Ragnarok happening. He sees Thor finally accepts the fact that they're not, meant to be, together. And Loki finally gives in that he is loved and he is accepted by Thor. And one of the final shots Loki sees is his neck getting snapped by Thanos because of the Tesseract.
yeah,
And I believe the final shot is Thor crying over Loki, and then
yeah,
it cuts to, oh, this is over,
yeah. Like the end
you
of this.
know.
Yeah,
And Loki's there in complete shambles. It's Tom Hiddleston in this first episode is absolutely amazing. I very much enjoyed how much this one episode, and the fact it was an hour. They gave us an hour. I didn't expect them to. I did not expect them to give us an hour.
I was happy that they
So
did
was I.
because getting tired of 30 minutes.
Oh
I
yeah,
was getting
yeah,
tired of 30 minutes. I really was.
yeah,
I think being the first episode, it had to show a lot. So I'm
yeah.
glad it was at least an hour of just so much good content and
Mm-hmm.
so much like mystery of what's happening. Like, where the hell is TVA?
Mm-hmm.
Um, prior to like everything, and honestly, it just
But
makes
the
everything.
only thing I will say about that is they do say it's like, well, if you haven't heard from us, you don't have to worry about it. Or they say something like that because he's
Yeah,
like, well, how come I haven't heard about you guys before? He's like, well, that's a good thing that you haven't.
yeah, I can.
So, our Mobius says that. Mobius returns, and I believe he reveals that he needs Loki's help because the person they're trying to stop is Loki. Um, Or my friend had asked me if it was Lady Loki. I don't know. Again, I think it's gonna be Loki himself. Like it's gonna be Tom Hiddleston versus Tom Hiddleston, kind of similar to what we saw Vision versus Vision.
Interesting.
The only reason I think that is because I feel like there's an ongoing theme with these shows, and our main characters of these shows are fighting their inner demons.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
After seeing this, it's clear what the first episode what these are about because we see in WandaVision, Wanda's battling grief. Grief is her inner demon. The fact that she lost Vision, she lost her brother. There's so much vulnerability going on within Wanda. In Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we see Sam, fighting the demon and not being able to feel like he can be Black Captain America, as well as living up to the Steve's legacy. And this is kind of, I think these are going to be Loki's, demons within his show.
Yeah. Give me 1 quick minute. I'm gonna be right back. I just had to take a bathroom break, but keep
You're
talking.
good. No, I'm gonna go. But yeah. So we took a little break. We're just not a little break. We just took a little restroom break during this recording. You guys won't notice anything, but yeah, Loki episode 1, absolutely fantastic. We saw a lot of character development within Loki in the final minutes of it.
Yeah.
Um, Moby, again, I don't think these guys are bad guys at all. I don't think the time variants or the time wizards or are bad guys at all. At least I don't see it.
I don't see it either. I think they're there to help. They're
Yeah, for
just
sure.
they're just they're just police.
Yeah,
And that's why they're a little on the aggressive side. But I mean, they have to be, especially if Loki is the one literally calling himself the god of mischief.
yeah, definitely.
We're gonna understand a little more because it's kind of cool that just kind of going back a little bit, the fact that he was asking, Mobius was asking him, was like, what? So like, what are you a god of? Like, do you?
Yeah, yeah.
It was conflicting, so that's nice, and I think that's a preview of what's gonna happen.
The whole he wants to understand why Loki does the thing he does.
Right?
What makes the god of mischief tick.
Yeah.
you know and again, you see this is a hurt Loki. Loki's hurt, and you see it a lot in his acting. Again, I can't wait for episode 2.
Next
It's gonna be
Wednesday.
good. Yeah, next Wednesday, gonna be absolutely good. um to see where this goes, because this is gonna be fun. I think it's leading into Doctor Strange. I think at the end of it, it's leading into Doctor Strange.
I think so
But
too. Or maybe just because I mean, most of these shows are setting up things, but I think
yeah,
yeah, because I
setting
feel
up
like
so much.
the show might even reference the Eternals.
I didn't even think about that, but that is a really good possibility.
Yeah, just understanding
Really good
where they have been
possibility.
too, and maybe they're the reason why the Eternals, like, my memory got wiped or something because they were messing with time, or I don't know.
Maybe
Thinking,
that's an idea. That is an idea.
yeah, it is.
But that's all I got.
That's all I got too. I really love.
Actually, that's not true. I don't remember if I mentioned in the earlier episode, but I think I told you. I think we're going to be starting a YouTube channel soon with.
You did. You mentioned it.
Okay, yeah.
That's fun.
Will be Our Real Addiction. You're going to be able to see the video version of our talks. I'll be uploading the audio as well,
Yeah,
on its own. But yeah,
an extension so that you guys can recognize us or see our faces a little more.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah, definitely.
definitely. But this was fun.
A lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
I think,
you.
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
we hit 600 downloads with the last episode.
Woo!
Thank you guys so much. That means a
Thank
lot.
you guys. Yeah,
That's awesome. That is really awesome. Um, it makes me happy.
yeah, it does too.
Thank you guys for that.
The
Thank you
fact
for
that
listening, downloading. If you share the podcast as well, thank you for sharing it. Just thank you for being a part of it as well.
absolutely, and you can find us where again?
At Our Real Addiction on Instagram and on Facebook. We're inactive on Facebook though, but you can give us a like there.
You can go to like there too.
We've
We're
been a little
just
quiet
like
on our Instagram as well, but that will be returning soon.
yes,
Um, and the YouTube channel will be coming soon, so you can see a video version of this podcast,
absolutely.
of these recorded episodes. So this has been episode 27 of Our Real Addiction. I am Adam,
And I'm Miguel. Thank you
and
guys for listening so
yeah,
much.
we thank you guys so much for listening. This has been fun. Sick Parvis Magna.
Say Parvis Magna, Adam.